so exciting to be here. I think I would never guess that a makeup gal could be at South by Southwest. Okay, let's get started. So, before Rare Beauty ever launched, before we had a single product, before we built the community that exists today, Selena Gomez had a vision. Not just for a beauty brand, but for a brand built with purpose. And as someone who got her start on TV at just 10 years old, Selena was exposed to the unrealistic beauty standards of the entertainment industry. She was consistently scrutinized. She was open and honest about her personal mental health journey, sharing challenges that she's faced. And through it all, Selena realized something profound, that she wanted to create a brand that changes the conversation around beauty. Something that goes beyond trends and makes people feel good in their own skin. Selena saw an opportunity not just to sell makeup, but to redefine what beauty means and to make people feel celebrated, to feel included, and to feel accepted. And that's why she created Rare Beauty, a brand built on self-acceptance, mental health, and inclusivity. But from the beginning, we asked ourselves, how do we take this belief and turn it into something real? How do we build not just an audience, but a community, a place where people can connect, a place where people feel welcome? Welcome to be themselves, welcome to not compare themselves to anyone else. Selena likes to always say, you are not defined by a photo, a like, or a comment, which I think is so, rings so true to all of us, especially with her. My God, she has so many followers. When she said that, she first said that to me, it really hit home. So we need to create a place that we can celebrate what makes everyone themselves, what makes you rare. So that brings us to the foundation of everything that we do, and that's community. And for Rare Beauty, that is not my screen, this was our end goal. This was what we wanted to do. But in 2019, we didn't know exactly how we were going to get there. We knew that our brand purpose was going to be aligned with mental health. But how? Like, what does that mean? And so after much discussion, we talked with experts, research, talking with a ton of people within the mental health community, we landed on loneliness because we concluded that loneliness was where a brand could actually have a really large impact. But in the end, we're selling a product. We sell makeup. How can that actually have a positive impact? And brand purpose is not just a marketing play. If you're going to do it, you have to commit. It's not just to generate sales or buzz. Honestly, the Gen Z, your audience, will start to see through that. It must truly do what it intends to do. So through community, we thought, we believed, we hoped that Rare Beauty could help people connect and really truly feel less alone in the world and find a place of belonging. So we announced that the brand was coming in February of 2020. And we had big plans to activate. Think about if you're launching a brand from scratch. Launching a brand from scratch with Selena Gomez, no less. There's a lot of stuff that you do, especially if you're in D2C. There's a lot of things, a lot of shoots, a lot of content. And we wanted to foster and grow this big community. Well, you know what happened next. March 2020 came, and the world found itself in a global pandemic. So not only was it tough as the chief marketing officer, okay, how are we going to build this brand from scratch from my kitchen table? But more importantly, people were feeling lonelier than ever. Young people were suddenly ripped away from their friends. Overnight, their worlds changed and shrunk down to the size of a box. All of a sudden, our mission became more important than ever. We knew that we had to connect people. We could actually start to live our brand's purpose before we launched a single product. So we did what the rest of the world did. And we took to Zoom. But a month prior, so I talked about we had announced the brand. A month prior, we had opened a community call to see who would want to participate in a photo shoot. I mentioned we have to build a brand. You've got to create a bunch of assets. We were selling 48 shades of foundation. And if you're a beauty brand and you want to sell 48 shades of foundation, you have to create photos and content and images of people wearing that product. So great, here's an idea. Let's get members of our community together to actually create that content. However, the catch is, we don't want to take a photo. It's not about what they look like. It's back to our brand mission. It's about what makes you rare. So we set out this community call. We said, send us your story. We want to hear what makes you rare. And we got the most beautiful stories, real wonderful content, real wonderful stories from people saying what makes them rare. Honestly, I thought we were just going to get people wanting to meet Selena Gomez. And she's the most wonderful person, so you do want to meet her. But it was really true, heartfelt, rare stories. We were all so touched. But needless to say, we weren't able to have that photo shoot because it became March 2020 and we couldn't fly people together. We couldn't have that event. We couldn't start to connect people in person. But yet we had these thousands of people who wanted to engage with the brand. The brand had not even launched, but they shared with us this story. So we started this two-way conversation. So our community was starting. It was growing. People wanted to get to know. Here we are, working from home in this global pandemic, and we said, well, let's do a Zoom chat. So we started these Zoom chats weekly. We just picked people at random from that list of people. And we just started chatting. They were informal chats. Each week, we got to know our community, and they eventually became known as Rare Chats. But we listened, and we learned, and we heard from people. One of the interesting things was we heard from people that they wanted trusted resources in mental health, that the resources, the conversations were not happening in school, and they were not happening at home, but they were still in need or still curious. So we didn't know what to do just yet. We were building the brand. So we reached out to psychologists, we reached out to psychologists, we reached out to therapists, mental health experts, advocates, to co-create resources, things that they could trust, places where we could lead them. And this actually led to the creation of the Rare Beauty Mental Health Council. Experts within mental health, nonprofit, medical field, education, all of whom advise us on our mental health strategy and our content that to this day, the Rare Beauty Mental Health Council is now going 5 years strong. But to this day, I am always thrilled to see that people will save the mental health content just as much as they'll save a beauty tutorial. So I know that we're on the right path. We knew that we were on the right path, doing the right thing. But in addition, in these Zoom chats, we made friends. We got to know people. There was one of those friends was an individual named Xander. Now, Xander loved makeup, but didn't know anyone in their community who was like them. Yet through these rare chats, they found a community. Through these rare chats, so for the first time in their life, they felt welcome. Now, Selena would join these weekly rare chats. That was always the best because it was such a surprise and it was never about her. She would always ask questions and want to know. And I'll never forget, one person said, Selena, you heard me, you listened to me, you hear me, you see me. And I was so struck. I was like, this is it. This is where community marketing, this is where getting to know your community is. This is what it's all about. This is what it means. So eventually the world opened up, thankfully. We continued to foster those relationships. We met up on hikes. We hosted breathwork sessions, gratitude journaling, sound baths. What else? We made collages. We went out to dinner. We met up at Sephora's around the world. My goodness, we have inside jokes with our community. It was really all about building and fostering true relationships. They're humans. These aren't Instagram followers. These are people. So people who once were Instagram handles, they truly became in real life friends. I love when I see someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Unwritten Roses? That's Sydney. Hi, Sydney. It's so great to meet you. And that, I think, is what's so fascinating and so fun and so rewarding is that these heart emojis became hugs. You know, and the Rare Beauty actually helped to foster these individual friendships. And when you set out in the beginning, and we said in 2019, okay, we want to connect people, and yet we were already starting to do this. We saw here that people actually became friends through our brand that was struck me as we're living our brand purpose. Rare Beauty then also has become a friend to our community. We get invited to bridal showers, to weddings, to graduations. There's a mailbag. It's the most wonderful thing. Sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I will go to the Rare Beauty mailbag and just go through and read the mail and see the stuff that we're getting. So we set out to do what we intended to do. Our brand was connecting people and igniting positive conversations around mental health. Here's an example of something that we've been doing these. We started out virtually and now we do them in person. It's a picture of our Rare Beauty Mental Health Council. It's a place where, what I love so much about these, the Mental Health Summit, what I love so much about them is that we're able to start these positive conversations for mental health for our community. People can come together, hear things, meet experts with whom, hear from experts who they may have never heard from, but also get to know each other. It's another moment for our community to connect and get together. I just love it. But listening to, as we developed the brand, listening to, connecting, and providing resources for the community, it wasn't enough. We had to still take action. So that's why we created the Rare Impact Fund. This is to make sure that we help young people everywhere have access to the mental health resources that they deserve. But the most important part is that it's not just about us. The Rare Impact Fund is not just about Rare Beauty. It's about our community. So the Rare Impact Fund is transforming youth mental health, the youth mental health landscape by mobilizing over $20 million in funds with our philanthropic partners, including corporate, foundation, and community. The Rare Impact Fund supports 30 nonprofit organizations in the form of grants and contributions across 5 continents. This is just a snapshot of some of them. Because community is so much more than just making people feel seen. It's about making sure they have the support that they need too. So then came Love Your Rare. This was our first global brand campaign. We launched it last year, a true celebration of self-acceptance. And we created this nearly 5 years after launching Rare Beauty. It's a love letter to the individuals who make up our community, those who have really helped it become what it is today. Why I'm able to be up here today talking about this, because beauty is not about perfection, but it's about embracing every side of you.
Here's to you. To the you that hides nothing. To the you that defines a look. To the you that never doubts. And the you that doubts every little thing. The you that's soft. The you that's bold.
What?
The signature look you. And the you that redefines it. To the you that holds everybody up. And the you that needs to be held. To you. You, and you. To be rare is to love every you. Love your rare.
And when we showed that to a select group, their response was, that's me. I see myself on the floor doing my makeup. I feel seen. And all the years of doing marketing and brands, campaigns, it's hard. I've never had a response like that. So it was really rewarding. So as a brand, when I look back what we've done over the last few years, we've created memories over moments. And we've created a world where people can really be themselves and feel like they belong. And when you think back to our initial brand purpose, and when we were planning this brand and we said, how can a brand really make a difference within mental health? And if loneliness is sometimes at the start, maybe the impetus of a potential mental health concern, and if loneliness is where a brand can make an impact, why can't more people do that? Now research shows, goodness gracious, not good at this. How do I go back? All right, there we go. So research shows, and we've heard directly from people like Dr. Jessie Gold, she's on our Rare Beauty Mental Health Council, and she's an author, that this generation is feeling lonelier than ever. There's a loss of third spaces. I'm sure we've all heard that, and fewer places to connect, and more people are just feeling more isolated. Brands can fill that role. Why can't they? Why can't brands help people feel like they belong? So we set out to create friendships. Truly, I thought, you know what, if we can just connect two people and have two people become friends, we're doing our job. And then when I look back at what we've done thus far, and I remember standing on the stage of the Rare Beauty Mental Health Summit and looking out at a beautiful audience, just like you all now, but seeing people and watching the friends, I thought, oh my God, we actually did it. Like, how many times have you written something on a PowerPoint slide and thought, well, that's a PowerPoint slide. Are we really going to do this? And then we did it. I welled up with tears. Truly, it blows my mind. It makes me so happy, and it's so rewarding because we set out to create friendships. And with it, we created lifelong brand loyalists. And when we show up for them, they show up for us. And the thing that has been so powerful, that especially as someone who manages a team and cares so much about her team, it's just as rewarding for my team as it is for the community that they engage with. That there is a tangible connection between the two. And that is something that I didn't expect, how rewarding it would be for my team to feel from them. And this is something that we received from our community.
Your kindness truly left me speechless.
Always so welcoming and so kind.
I love seeing other people that look like me in the beauty space.
Thank you for always unconditionally bringing in your love.
We love and appreciate you so much.
The Latina community loves you so much, and every time we see your face, we see ourselves.
To be a part of this community, it truly would not be the same without you.
You radiate the most positive and happy energy ever.
You have the biggest heart, and your energy is so contagious.
And I hope to see you again very soon.
I love it. All right, so how do you help build community? The most important thing, and I think people think it's obvious, but you gotta listen before you lead. The best ideas are going to come from your audience. Ask, listen, shape your brand around those real needs. Yes, we knew, Selena wanted to make an impact within mental health. That was so true, so core to who she was and everything that she has learned over her years since that young woman that she posted on Instagram, since she was that young woman. She's learned so much, and she always said, I want to share more. How can I help? How can I pay it forward? How can I do this by creating this brand that can make a difference, something bigger than just beauty? But it wasn't until we started those rare chats, and we heard from people directly that they actually weren't getting the resources. Because you could think, oh, they're out there. You just Google, you search for it, you ask your school, you ask your parents, but in fact, those conversations were not happening. And that was the eye-opening moment. That was that aha moment that we knew, okay, we have to create something. How can we make a difference? And if we have this highly engaged audience, if that's what they're looking for and that's tied to our brand purpose, then that's what we have to create. But we also knew we're still a beauty brand. So we had to create the Rare Beauty Mental Health Council to co-create. They were looking for trusted sources, trusted resources. So how could we co-create that content? We built the audience, we provide the value through the Rare Beauty Mental Health Council. The second idea, you have to show up consistently. Think about a relationship. Community is not a one-off campaign. It is a long-term commitment. It's a friendship. You don't ghost your friends. You can't ghost your community. So if you're going to engage and you say, I want to truly foster these strong relationships, you gotta show up every single day. You have to respond. You have to be there. You have to come up with those moments of value for them. And they'll show up for you because it is that relationship. And finally, create more than moments. Create meaning. True loyalty will come from the experiences where people feel valued just beyond a purchase. And I really believe any brand can do this. Now, I could argue not every brand has to have a brand purpose, but I do think every brand can have a community. It's why you exist. Okay. Sometimes I'm not good at my slides. So even at South by Southwest, if you're here, you're interested in the fashion and beauty world, the industry, the community. You are a part of fashion and beauty. Yes, you, if you've never worn lipstick, or maybe you just have, I don't know, shaving cream or something, but you're part of it. You're here. You're part of this ecosystem. Whether you're a super fan or you're in the C-suite, it's an industry that for far too long has prioritized exclusivity over inclusivity. And I really believe that we all have the power to change that. Each of us has the power to impact someone in this world. If you just take the time to get to know someone, help someone feel less alone in an office, in a Sephora, my favorite place, but honestly, even in the Instagram comments. Let others feel seen, heard, valued, and respected. Fostering that sense of belonging is more important than ever before.
I feel makeup should be accessories to complement what's beautiful about you. And I think I always believe that because you can't help but feel the pressure and feel like you have to look a certain way or, oh, if I only did this or only look like that, it would work. But I don't know. I just think that you're special. You're supposed to be who you are. And I've met thousands of people in my life. And I wish that they could see what I see when I see in them, you know?
So Selena Gomez sees the beauty in everyone, and that's rare. But it doesn't have to be. Thank you. But we can do Q&A. So I know that I had the opportunity, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to present about Rare Beauty, the brand, our brand purpose, our community. And I ended a little early, and that is okay because, whoa, we got a lot of questions. And so listen, if you have any questions about building a brand with a founder, I'm also on TikTok where I give out not beauty advice, God knows. Career and marketing advice, that I can do. I'm not doing any dances. So let's answer some of these questions. Also, I have some gifts for everyone, so there's some samples, some Fine Comfort body lotion samples. Okay, how can we leverage makeup to empower ourselves at work? How can we leverage makeup to empower ourselves at work? You know what? I think makeup is how can you show up as yourself and how to use makeup as a form of self-expression. So whatever that means to you, I think there is no one answer to that. If you want to wear a full face beat to work, great. If you don't, great. I think the most important thing is that you understand what you like and what gives you the confidence to be able to, I think at work more importantly, speak up at work, share your voice, have a point of view, fully engage, become an active participant in your career. And however makeup falls into that for you, that's what's important. So I think it's really up to you. Unless you actually work for a makeup brand, then don't wear the other brand. That's the best part when we're at events and I look at my team and I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you just put on your lips? Doesn't happen anymore. But I've worked in beauty for a long time and it has in the past, not at Rare Beauty. Okay, what is the best advice you have to drive purpose connection? Purpose? What is the why? We think about it, we believe our tagline is makeup made to feel good in without hiding what makes you unique. And so if we are makeup made to feel good in, doesn't hide what makes you you, that gets back to our core brand purpose of wanting you to feel welcome and feel less alone in the world and feel like you belong because we celebrate who you are, every side of you, just like that, just like the brand film. Okay, so which Rare Beauty product is your favorite? Our blushes, of course, Soft Pinch Liquid Blush. Mascara is great. Sorry for it. Listen, everyone can wear a blush and a mascara. I'm not going to apologize to anyone in this room. Where does the community live? They're all over, it's global. It's truly a global community. And we have done, as we've rolled out, so since we launched in September of 2020, we launched in the US, Canada, Mexico. We have since rolled out to Europe, the Middle East, Southeast Asia. Some of that were in Brazil. And so each time we roll out and we do events, we try to meet up with the community when we're out there. And I think the other question was on what platforms do you engage? So we are, of course, in the comments of Instagram, TikTok, sometimes X, and Facebook, but we also use TYB, which is a digital collectible platform, and that's been really fun. I think we have about 85,000 on TYB. We also used Geneva, but I believe we've transferred everyone from Geneva to TYB. And it's a lot of chat rooms and fun and engaging, and it's really great to watch the conversations happening. I think whatever you can do is just provide that platform to connect your audience wherever that may be. I work with community and sometimes Oh, I work with community, and sometimes I feel like it generates competition among the members. How can we transform egos into collaboration and identification? Oh, wow. Huh. I don't know how to answer that. That's really interesting. I've never, whoever asked that, can you find me later? Because I kind of want to know more about your community and what that means. Is it like a sport, race, something where people, like, I think, I know, it depends on maybe the brand or the community that you're fostering, but that's interesting. What do you wish you had known when you were just starting your business? Oh, no one knows what they're doing. You know, like how the world is changing at such a fast clip. There's so many new marketing platforms. How can you know? How can you know? Now, listen, you've got to be sure. You have to be certain. You have to, hopefully, throughout your years, you've honed your gut and your instinct, and you have a good idea, and you show up and you try your best. Show up and you try your best. But my gosh, you don't know if it's going to work. But you have to do all the other things to try and make it. You can't just go through the motions. I think the more that you can be clear on what your brand is, what your brand stands for, what your product is, what your product point of difference is, make sure everyone on your team understands that so they're clearly communicating it. Then you gotta let go, like God, at some point, like you just have to show up and do your best. But honestly, sometimes people don't do those things. So do the work, understand your why. Every brand has a why. Why do you exist? And you don't have to change the world. Every brand, I don't believe it would be nice if every brand tried to. We could use all the help we can get. But even if you can't, you still exist for a reason. So understand what your brand stands for, why it's there. It's very clear that the brand is bigger than the product. How do you maintain the community in an authentic way while also hitting the sales target? Is that my head of sales asking that question? It's hard. It's hard. You know, makeup, marketing, cosmetics industry is super competitive. It's very hard. It gets back to kind of what I said before. Make sure you understand your product point of difference and understand how to tell that story. I trust my team too. So when they're thinking of, this is what we're going to talk about on TikTok, this is what we're doing on Instagram, we understand the platforms so well that then they understand that language to tell your product or brand story. And I think as a leader, as a marketer, you have to trust your team and let them do their job. And that's hard for some marketers because a lot of us are like very perfectionists and like controlling because we think if we do it best, we're the only ones who can do it. But you won't survive that way. So how can you then teach your team fundamentals of marketing so that they can run off and do it? So that has helped with sales. But really, it's getting back to understanding your product point of difference and continuing to come up with new ways to tell those stories. What do you think? Do you think this would have had the level of success without Selena? How does a brand build this without a face? That is a great question. Well, first and foremost, this is Selena's idea. Like this truly is her vision. When I met her for the very first time, I said, I was during the interview process. I said, why do you want to create a makeup brand? And she said, I want people to feel welcome. I remember she said, I want to create a lane where people feel welcome to be themselves. And I've worked in the beauty industry since 1999, and I have never heard anything like that. And there's a lot of great things about beauty: self-expression, artistry, inclusivity, thank God. But welcome, like come sit with us? No, I'd never heard that. And so would it be the same without her? No, this was her. It truly is. Everything that we do is through her ethos, her vision, the way she acts, her tone of voice. And it's hard to stand up on a stage and talk to people and tell people like she needs to be here. But I've never met someone who is just so heartfelt and kind and normal. And so no, I don't think I could, because it's not about the Instagram followers or the TikTok followers. It's about her heart. The other day we were at Sephora, not the other day, everything is a blur, last August. And she said, when we started Rare Beauty, we cared about this. And she pointed at her heart. And then she said, we cared about beauty on the inside. And I was like, did everyone hear that? That is so good. But it's true. It's true. So that's why it wouldn't be the same without her, because it is her. But, okay, your question was, could you do it without a face? Yeah, she's a founder. It's a founder brand. It's getting to understand your founder and your founder's why and your founder's point of difference. So truly, yes, she's a celebrity, but I look at her through the lens of the founder. She's a founder brand. Oh, first 3 things you do to develop a brand. Where do you start? Start with your why, right? Simon Sinek. Why does the brand exist? You know what was interesting is that I think so many people, when Selena hired her team, it was all senior executives first. And so here we are coming together. We had all come from a background and we all had years of experience and all worked different ways. And so all coming together and really making sure that all of us were on the same page as her. We had a lot of like full day meetings and sessions and chatting and just honestly sitting around and talking. And that was the most important thing, to make sure that first your leadership team, but then your entire team is really on the same page of your founder and your why. So I would start there. How large is our social media team? Oh my God, I'm on stage, I have to count. Maybe 5 people, 6 people. But it's all of consumer marketing. So they do a lot within, it's community management, it's social. We create all of our social content in-house ourselves. We could do most of our creative in-house. Except for that brand campaign. We worked with Fred and Fareed, a brilliant ad agency, creative agency. How does your messaging reflect your values and find the people that need to hear it? Oh, that's a great question, Beck. Everything, even our product names try to reflect our messaging. Everything we do, our tone of voice in social tries to reflect our messaging. And we find the people that we need to hear it. My God, you just hope. I mean, I don't think you can super target people who are looking for a mental health conversation, but I think word of mouth has really helped people find themselves here. People find the community. I think people notice, hopefully it's like a positive group think because we foster the sense of community. Oh, on social media, products always go viral among teenagers. Is that the target audience? Is there any project for an older audience? Truly, we did not set out to. I think there was a zeitgeist wave of Sephora teenagers last year, or teens at Sephora, and a bunch of brands were a part of it. I think we might have been a part of it, but no, we don't target teens specifically. We target people. We target humans who want to feel less alone and who we can celebrate what makes you you. So everything is for all ages, really. I'm 47. I use the product. What advice would you give to a grassroots? Oh my God, I just said my age on a stage. What advice would you give to a grassroots brand that doesn't have access to a major leverage to leverage building community? Start at the beginning. Like just start. Like those Zoom chats, just get to know people. It will grow, it will foster. Have a point of view, have a point of difference, and just start getting to know people. Your community can be 20 people. It will grow. It will grow if you continue to engage, just like any social media following, truly, or any friendship group or any circle. If you treat people with the respect that they deserve, they will come back. They will share what your brand is all about or what you're all about. Oh, is purpose, belonging, and community the way to thrive in the generative AI era? I think that's another panel. I mean, yes. I don't know. We got to figure that out, right? Because I would love to talk to people about it, because I've had agencies come up and say, we can create content around AI for you, but I don't know, if you're in the audience and you saw a piece of content selling a foundation or a concealer, would you don't you want to see what it looks like on real skin? I struggle, but there's got to be a way. Okay, what advice do you have for young professionals looking to break into beauty marketing or brand management? Just get your foot in the door. I know everyone says that, but you have to try, and you have to show up every single day and tap your networks. And I think people a lot of times want things to be handed to them, and that just doesn't happen. You have to just show up. And I think there are adjacent companies to beauty brands or brand marketing that you get in through agency world. That's how I sort of worked my way up, and just try. How do you measure the success of your in-person events? That's a great question. Engagement. I mean, there's no real KPI. It's just, what's the sentiment? Does it seem like people want to be there? Is it fun? I always look to my own team, and are they having a fun time? What direction do you see Rare Beauty going in the next 5 years? Honestly, I'm just trying to keep the train on the tracks. It has been a really wild ride the last 5.5 years, so I just want to keep it going straight. How do you make sure to, how do you make sure to stand out when it feels like every brand is doing the same thing? Oh my God, Zia, that is so hard. It is really hard. That's why brand is so important. And I think if you're a beauty marketer or any marketer, I look at the marketing plan as sort of dual path. You've got a brand marketing level, and that's your brand point of difference, and then you also have to talk about the products and product marketing. How do you do that at the same time? And that's the way you can break through. But it is hard. I work in sports and community is huge, but game outcome is out of our control. Have you experienced negative community effects due to a product, and how did you face that? Ooh, that's a good question. Transparency. Transparency. We've always been open and honest with our community. That is one of our values. We all for instance, we did a price increase. We posted about it before it happened, and we told everyone the why and why we were doing and what we were doing. And so I think the sentiment was that the community valued it. I think, again, all you can do is try your best and show up every single day. You're going to make a mistake. We're all humans. And I think what I care most about is just making sure my team feels okay if it happens. Because what can you do? What roles does your team manage in community? Social, brand, PR, what does it look like? Which roles in your team manage the community? Okay, social, it's social and community. We have specific community management people. How large would you estimate your community is? I think across social, maybe we're like 12 million. How would you value? How would you describe the how and why your community is different than other brands in this space? I've never experienced a more engaged community. And almost when I was writing this presentation, I felt like, are you going to believe me? I keep saying the same thing. But it's true. Like, I've never seen, but I think that is because we treat our community like the wonderful individuals that they are, not fans and followers and not a number. And that's the point. Think about it. You're building a friendship with a person or building a relationship with anyone. You don't treat them like a number. You treat them like a human. And we really, really do that, and we care. And things like inside jokes, that cracks me up the most. The other day, one of my team members, Pam, was wearing this T-shirt. It had some, I don't know what was on it. I go, what are you wearing? And she goes, oh my God, the community made this for me and sent it to me. So they have these jokes. It's great. It's wild, but it's human. And that is the most important thing. Ahead of the global pandemic, what was the biggest hurdle Rare Beauty experienced since launch, and what was key to breaking into the beauty category? Well, the global pandemic was hard. The biggest hurdle, it's been hard. Honestly, just launching a brand, launching any brand, anytime, anywhere is hard. It's going to be hard, and I think it's not for the faint of heart. So, and a lot of people say like, oh, I want to launch a beauty brand. You sure? It's just make sure you're up for the task. Is there what marketing tactic didn't end up working well for the brand? Oh, I'm sure there's some. Out of home, maybe? I don't know. It's so expensive. What do beauty marketing companies look for when hiring? What portfolio skills do they want? I think it's different for every company. Here's my advice. I think if you're a manager and you're looking to hire, you have to understand your team's strengths and how do you complement them. If you hire a team that's just like you, you're only going to go so far. You have to hire diversity of thought, diversity of skills. You got to round out the orchestra. If you look out into this room, we're an orchestra. We all play a different instrument. That's how you make the beautiful music in your team. So if you think, oh, I don't have XYZ, or I don't act like XYZ, or have a similar background that's already existing in your team, good. You don't want to hire the team of the same people. You need to have that difference of opinions, difference of thought, difference of strengths that complement one another. So I really look to that when hiring. So I think be proud of, again, who you are and what you've created, and that should help you shine. What impact has the Rare Beauty community had on my life? What keeps me motivated every day? My own team does. I think it's wonderful to stand up here and know that it's not all bullshit. Truly, that means a lot. Sorry to swear. How to balance building an authentic community and caring community that you need to. How do you balance? You try. Okay, the question. Sorry, I feel like I thought you could see the questions. How do you balance building an authentic community and caring community with the need to sell to them and meet sales targets? That's why we have a community team, honestly, so that they can just focus on the relationship and the nurturing and the building. And then I have a product marketing team, and so that team can sort of focus on the straight up, like, let's sell soft pinch liquid blush. Is it easier to launch a brand from scratch or work and reinvent an existing one? Both are great challenges. I don't know. It depends on the brand. It depends on, I don't know. What do you love about Rare Beauty participating in South by Southwest? Oh, thanks. I think it's great to talk about makeup, a place where it's a little unexpected. Do I have any advice for young women navigating the corporate world? Yes. Find a mentor. Find someone who can help you, talk you through your career, ask questions, speak up, important because it's just like building a team. The more diversity of thought that we have at the C-suite level, the better. We need that. So I think sometimes there's an invisible cliff that women don't stay and climb the ladder. So we need to help you have the tools and techniques and the tips to get you on that ladder. So find someone with whom you can connect and talk to about your career. Call me. I'll help you. I may not know the answers, but we can laugh about it somehow and get you in there because I think it's very important if that's what you're interested in. Oh my God, what are 3 adjectives you would describe? Wait, nobody wants to know this. What are 3 adjectives you would describe your leadership style at Rare Beauty? Warm, high energy, and sometimes direct. I'm a mom of twin 13-year-old girls. Moms are not happy with how the industry makes young girls feel with social. Oh, thanks. Twins love the blush. Yay, thank you. It is wild. Has everyone seen Cover Star? Okay. So we had a Girl Scout troop came by the office to earn a badge. I don't know what the badge was, like corporate life badge. And they all came up to me and they said, "Can we film a Cover Star?" And I'm like, "What is that?" And they whip out their phones and it's like a young person's TikTok or something. It's like, and I looked at their moms. I'm like, is this I don't know, I'm not your child. You know, you're not my child. And they're like, yeah, no, it's great. So it was fascinating. So check out Cover Star. What was interesting to me is that it's still teaching young women or young people that happen to be young girls who I was talking to, the ideas of getting followers, getting verification. That I didn't love, you know. But if it brought them joy, that I love. So it's interesting. I think the most important, I guess, I'm not a parent, so I think the most important thing are the parents. So thank you for the kind words. Everyone, I will be here. There are some samples of our Find Comfort Hydrating Body Lotion in the back, I believe. Keely, thank you. If you have any other further questions, I am around. I really appreciate you coming out. I really didn't think anyone would, so thank you so much.